Well, it seems to me the biggest benefit of The Greatest is Love is that it puts a couple in conversation about their relationship, and it touches on a variety of issues or topics that every marriage must deal with, and they have to engage with each other on it. Some do it more in depth than others do, but there's an engagement on various topics. So I think that's a really valuable lesson.
What I have found is that often with a couple there's one person who talks more than the other, or one person who's more engaged than the other, and with The Greatest is Love, they both then engage equally and kind of feed off of each other's excitement or energy or thoughts. And so I feel like I get to know both of them better than I did before I had the Greatest of Love tool. And I also think as we have such busy lives that it's hard to you always want to make it as meaningful as possible, but you have limited time. So to have a resource that makes it pretty easy for you to do what you want to do and make it meaningful is good.
I've been using The Greatest is Love with couples I've been marrying for about, oh my gosh, it's been about 6 years now. And I find that it's just an incredible resource to get meaningful conversations to happen between couples. They so often want to talk about the wedding arrangements and all the details of the wedding day, but The Greatest is Love really gets them to focus on the marriage and issues of importance for the long haul in their journeys together as couples.
I've never had a couple not be happy that they did the conversations in The Greatest is Love.
Communication is something that grows over time, but it also can grow in odd ways in couples. They learn bad patterns, perhaps, and Dr. Nelson really gives them some tools by which to learn how to better communicate with each other, how to be expressive of all areas of their lives, so that each component, each aspect can be expressed in a meaningful way, and I've enjoyed that.
Greatest is Love material has been a wonderful way to engage couples in communication. It's one of the things that I think with the digital age, with texting and email, many of the couples don't have the abilities to really work relationally with one another and express themselves. And so The Greatest of Love material has allowed for couples to be able to model effective communication by active listening, to hear that, to respond back through their nonverbals, and use 80 to 85% of our words that aren't even words, they're just how we react to each other through our ways that we hear that, our facial expressions. And so this gives them as a foundational piece throughout, whether it's our 6 weeks of pre-marriage work that we allow for those couples, or the day-and-a-half seminar, to be able to begin to build some foundational things that they can carry into their life together.
And I think couples are enriched by taking time for these conversations, and I think they also learn how to have conversations about things that matter.
I think that in comparison to some other things can be a little more clinical. This is very relational, and it really puts them in the arena where they are in contact with each other and trying to explore each other in a very deep and meaningful way. Kind of the biblical knowing sense. There's an intimacy implicit in these conversations when they take them quite seriously that I think is phenomenal. So I really like doing it. Now, if somebody is looking for something that's painless to administer, this is about as painless as you can get to administer it as well, if that's the goal, because the couple's doing most of the work. You're not having to score a test or have a test scored and then analyze it or anything like that. You're just letting them find their way into an intimacy of relationship at their own pace and with their own priorities, rather than trying to identify for them areas in their relationship that need to be affirmed and need to be shored up. So,
Greatest is Love is a wonderful book, and it can work, I think, really well. Think back when the congregation was much smaller and we had 10 or 12 couples who are going through it, and whether it's your setting where where you can sit together and just encourage them in these conversations as a pastor, to the fact that this definitely does work for our circumstances here, and the fact that we're ministering to a lot of lots of people, and Greatest of Love is one of those that is a tangible book that has great teaching and allows for the couples to really begin to engage one another in probably a way that they've never considered and experienced. And it's authentic, it's real, and it builds a great foundation. And so I'd recommend that.